Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show.
Cup of Joe Wrestling Show?
With Joey Harris. A podcast for the wrestling fan on the go. So take your favorite beverage of choice and join Joey as he takes a look at some of the biggest shows on the WWE Network.
From makeshift studios in the shadow of South Central Virginia, this is the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show, and I am your host, Joey Harris. Follow the show on Twitter at Cup of Joe Pod. You can email the show at cupofjoewrestlingshow@gmail.com. Folks, today Project 45 stops in 2011 and looks at the episode of Monday Night Raw from Halloween night, October the 31st, 2011. This was a hard night for me. This was a hard show to go through, but it was cathartic in a way because this was the night that my first marriage, for all intents and purposes, ended. I'm not going to delve too deeply into that, but we had been having problems for a while, and this is when we just had that difficult conversation. And it is not funny, but very ironic that while one of the worst nights of my life, this was happening, it was all like Muppets and frivolity over on Raw. So let's get to it. Monday Night Raw was broadcast October the 31st, 2011 from the Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia on the USA Network. The show did a 3.1 rating. We go to our WWE intro, and this is a Raw Super Show. Michael Cole welcomes us to Monday Night Raw. He and Jerry Lawler will be the announcers for the evening. The Rock is shown on the Titantron. He says, John Cena, you want The Rock to be your tag team partner? You want to team up with The Rock at Survivor Series? Can it be done? Could it be done? Should it be done? For one epic night, one epic encounter. John Cena, you and The Rock are polar opposites on this planet, this earth, under God's hot sun. You represent, John, an era and a generation. The Rock represents an era and a generation. Last Monday on Raw, John, you asked The Rock to be your tag team partner. You asked from the heart. He saw it and he felt it. Well, here's The Rock's answer back to you from the heart. Hell no. He says it 2 more times. He says, you want The Rock, the people's champion, the same one you've been knocking on The Rock's door for years. When The Rock opened it and came back, you see, John, for you and The Rock to be a tag team, this is the way tag teams work. You stick your hand out and The Rock slaps it. But he doesn't want to do that. Why would he do that? Why would he slap the skin on your hand when he wants to slap the lips off your face, punk? You want Team Bring It. Millions upon millions upon millions worldwide. Team Bring It to team up with you and the Fruit Loop Troop. No. Hell no. No way. But then, John, The Rock started thinking about it. But more importantly, The Rock started to listen. Every single morning when The Rock gets up, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, ready to whip that ass, millions upon millions of tweets coming across The Rock's Twitter saying, you've got to team up with John Cena, Rock. You've got to do it for one night. But here's the reason, and here's the reason, John, that hooked me. Because we, the world, Team Bring It, we hate and despise The Miz and R-Truth. So you see, John, it ain't about what you want. It ain't about what The Rock wants. It's about what the people want. And what the people want is to see Miz and R-Truth get their asses kicked like they've never been kicked before at Survivor Series. So in that thought and in that space, John Cena, your wish just came true. The Rock is going to give the people what they want. For one night, you and The Rock will be a tag team, and we will face The Miz and R-Truth at Survivor Series. Miz and R-Truth, you've run around. You've become 2 badasses. You become the most hated men in the WWE. But you're running around, you're kicking everybody's ass in a cowardly way from the back. Well, why don't you try facing the Great One, one-on-one? See what happens then. Why don't you come and try to do that to The Rock? He then says, John Cena, you've got your wish. The Rock is your partner. Right now, I know you're so happy. Right now, I know all your fans and millions of little kids are running around the house right now. They're on his Twitter saying, thank you, Rocky. He says, slow it down, little cowboys. Slow it down. Don't get too happy yet. Slow it down. He says, John Cena, there's another reason why The Rock is doing this. Outside kicking The Miz and R-Truth's asses at Survivor Series. And that reason is this, John. The Rock wants you to witness. On that night, The Rock wants you to stand on that apron and be 1 foot away from the most electrifying man in the world doing exactly what he does best, and that is putting boots to asses all damn day and all damn night. John Cena, what The Rock does to The Miz and R-Truth that night, New York City, Madison Square Garden, is just going to be a taste of what The Rock is going to do to you at WrestleMania. Just a taste, John. You stand on that ring and you witness The Rock and you watch and you respect and you damn sure learn and you watch how a real man gets it done and you watch that jabroni beaten, pie eaten, trail blazing, eyebrow raising, ready to strike on the attack. John Cena, call your fat ass mama because The Rock is back. The Rock, John Cena, Survivor Series. Never before, never again. If you smell what The Rock is cooking. Now that's a promo. Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler review what happened and preview what we are going to see tonight. CM Punk comes to the ring. CM Punk versus Mark Henry. Henry is the world's heavyweight champion. Punk has to defeat Henry to get a title match against Alberto Del Rio at Survivor Series. They then replay what happened to the ring in the Big Show Mark Henry match at Vengeance. John Laurinaitis comes out. He goes through his pre-match spiel. He states to the crowd that CM Punk has to win to get his title shot. A CM Punk chant goes out. The bell rings and they lock up. Henry hits Punk with some forearms and headbutts Punk down. He gets him down in the corner and then picks him back up and whips him into the same corner. Punk gets his boots up and kicks Henry. He then jumps on Henry's back and hits him with some elbows. Henry readjusts Punk on his shoulder and drives him down to the canvas for a 2 count. Punk up and hitting Henry with some kicks. Henry grabs Punk and throws him out of the ring, but Punk holds on to the ropes and lands on the apron. He kicks Henry in the head and then hits him with a flying clothesline. Punk then hits the top rope elbow for a 2 count. Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez come to ringside. Del Rio sends Rodriguez in to hit Henry. I assume to make CM Punk lose by disqualification. Henry wins by disqualification. Punk is livid and runs and dives on Del Rio on the outside. Rodriguez pulls Punk off Del Rio, and Punk pushes Rodriguez away. He grabs Rodriguez as Del Rio has run away. Punk throws Rodriguez inside of the ring. Henry grabs him and gives him the world's strongest slam. Del Rio comes back down the aisle. Punk takes off after him to the back. The Muppets are introduced. Kermit and Miss Piggy are introduced. They come up from the stage and start to say how happy they are to be here before they are cut off by Vicky Guerrero with her excuse me routine. She comes out with Jack Swagger. She says it was bad enough when Hugh Jackman took over their show. Now they have to share their airtime with a bunch of livestock. Kermit is worried, especially when Swagger tells him it ain't easy being a plate of frog legs. He then tells Kermit that they should get off the stage before he starts craving a ham sandwich. Waka waka. Miss Piggy says, why don't you make us Frankenstein? Kermit says, hold up, listen. What Piggy tried to say, Mr. Swagger, is that we understand and we don't want any trouble from you or your mother. Guerrero is livid. She and Piggy get into a chest-bumping fight, both saying excuse me to each other. Santino Marella comes out and says, okay, everybody here is officially excused. He then tells Swagger that if he were him, he wouldn't be picking on the Muppets. He would be warming up. He says that John Laurinaitis told him that he and Swagger have a match in the ring tonight. Kermit tells Marella good luck, and Swagger grabs Kermit's mouth and says, cram it, frog. He tells Marella he doesn't care about that. He's a former Division I champion, an All-American American, and he's going to have Dolph Ziggler in his corner. Marella says Ziggler is not going to be in his corner because Ziggler has a match of his own tonight against Zack Ryder. Kermit says, woo, 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 and Miss Piggy says, you know it. Kelly's music hits, and she comes out. Piggy asks if she is dressed as a cowboy or a pirate, and she does look like she's dressed as both. She comes over and kisses Kermit. Piggy looks shocked, and Guerrero laughs at her. Kelly then goes to the ring. A special Divas Halloween Battle Royal is coming up next. Battle Royal. Kelly, Eve, Natalya, Alicia Fox, Oksana, Rosa Mendez, AJ, Caitlin, Tamina, and the Bella twins are your participants. Beth Phoenix is the special guest commentator. Eve wins, last eliminating Natalia. Phoenix and Natalia come in to menace Eve, but Alicia Fox and Kelly come in to back Eve up. Bunsen and Beaker are shown in the back. Bunsen tells Beaker he has created a Muppet energy drink and he must get it to Santino right away. Beaker leaves with the drink. Beaker goes out and bumps into Christian. Christian grabs the drink and pours it out to the horror of Beaker. He tells Beaker better luck next time, nerd, and then turns around, and Seamus is there. Seamus asks if there's a problem here. Christian says no problem at all, and then leaves. Beaker talks to Seamus, who says he can't make the family reunion this year. That's actually pretty funny. But to tell Aunt Teresa that he loves her. He then styles Beaker's hair and leaves. Air Boom, Kofi Kingston, and Evan Bourne versus Wade Barrett and Cody Rhodes. Bourne and Rhodes start. Rhodes with a wrist lock into an elbow lock. Rhodes with a knee to the stomach and a forearm to Bourne. He misses the clothesline attempt. Bourne kicks Rhodes in the stomach and tags Kingston in. Bourne Irish whips Rhodes and Kingston, hits a second rope clothesline to Rhodes and gets a 2 count. Back and forth. Rhodes reverses a corner whip. Kingston gets a kick in on the charge. Barrett comes over, but Kingston elbows him off the apron. Kingston then goes for a springboard, but Rhodes comes down on the top rope to knock him off. He gets a 2 count. Rhodes runs Kingston into a corner and then hits a Russian leg sweep. He gets another 2 count. Barrett tagged in and kicks Kingston while he is down. Barrett with an Irish whip and follows it up with a tilt-a-whirl slam. That gets a 2 count. Barrett with a double underhook chin lock. Back and forth in the middle of the ring. Barrett with a big right hand to knock Kingston down. He gets another 2 count. Rhodes tagged back in. He kicks Kingston in the midsection while Barrett holds him down before referee Mike Chioda makes Barrett get out of the ring. Rhodes gets Kingston in a corner and just stomps him down to the mat. The crowd boos Rhodes. Rhodes with a snapmare to Kingston. Rhodes goes into a rear chin lock. Kingston with punches and kicks to try to break the hold. He does, but Rhodes gets a drop toe hold on Kingston before he can make the tag to Bourne. Rhodes drags Kingston back to the opposite corner, and Barrett tagged in. Barrett with a kick to Kingston. Barrett gets Kingston back into a corner and kicks him. Barrett kicking and stomping Kingston down in a corner. Chioda gets Barrett away from Kingston, allowing Rhodes to attack Kingston. Rhodes tagged in as a Cody Sucks chant goes out. Rhodes knocks Kingston down with a right-hand punch. A series of punches knocks Kingston off his feet. Rhodes goes for a hip toss, and Kingston reverses it into a modified monkey flip. Both men down and crawling for pins. Both Barrett and Bourne tagged in. Bourne ducks a clothesline attempt and comes back with a kick to the head. He then goes for what appears to be a Hurricane Rana into what appears to be Wasteland. Bourne reverses that into a DDT. Rhodes breaks up a pin attempt. Kingston comes in and hits Rhodes with a flying forearm. Kingston comes in for a running splash, but Rhodes backdrops him to the outside. Bourne goes up top for Airborne, but Rhodes distracts him for Barrett to grab him and hit Wasteland and get the pin. Christian comes out and he, Barrett, and Rhodes attack Airboom. They get interrupted by Sheamus' music, and he comes running to the ring. He pulls Christian out of the ring and then clotheslines Rhodes in the ring. Barrett bails out of the ring, allowing Sheamus to hit a brogue kick to Rhodes. Statler and Waldorf make fun of the show from the balcony. John Laurinaitis is shown in the back looking at his phone. CM Punk approaches him and asks him if he was texting or did he see that. Laurinaitis says he did. Punk says he's okay with Rodriguez interfering so that he doesn't get his match with Alberto Del Rio. He says, "What are you going to make me do now? Carry your bags? Skateboard through hoops? Give you your chapstick before you go in for a meeting with the board of directors?" He says he knows what Laurinaitis would like him better if he frosted his hair like it was 1999 and bought a cheap suit and completely sold out. Laurinaitis stops him and tells him he has his WWE Championship match as long as Alberto Del Rio agrees to give him one. He says, "Now if you'll excuse me, I have some business to do." We then get a feature on Brodus Clay. Alberto Del Rio versus The Big Show. They show a replay of what happened to Rodriguez earlier. They then show another replay of the ring collapsing at Vengeance. They sure are going to get their money's worth from that spot, aren't they? The bell rings and Big Show rushes Del Rio, who moves and kicks Big Show. Del Rio attacks Big Show with punches and kicks until Big Show throws Del Rio into the corner and punches him repeatedly in the midsection. He then slaps Del Rio's chest hard. Del Rio with some chops, and Big Show responds with a big headbutt to knock Del Rio down. Big Show then gets Del Rio in a corner and hits him with another big chop. Big Show starts choking Del Rio with his knee on another rope for a 3 count. Del Rio coming back with stiff kicks to the legs. Big Show cuts it off with another headbutt. Big Show stays on offense with a big shot to the stomach of Del Rio and an Irish whip, but he drops his head early, and Del Rio kicks him in the face. Big Show comes back with a clothesline and a big suplex. He gets a 2 count. Big Show then chokes Del Rio on the bottom rope with his boot. Big Show with a corner whip, but Del Rio moves on the charge. Big Show comes back with another clothesline. A knee to Del Rio knocks him back down. Big Show with a corner whip. Del Rio gets his boot up on the drive. Del Rio attacking Big Show with kicks to the knees and then jumps on his back trying to get him down. He puts a sleeper on Big Show. He goes down to one knee as a Big Show chant goes out. Big Show trying to fight not to go out. He gets back to his feet and finally slings Del Rio off. Big Show is struggling afterwards though. It goes outside and Big Show hits Del Rio with some right hands by the barricade in what looked to be a clunky spot there, like they didn't realize what they were going to do. Big Show goes back in to break the count before they start fighting again. Big Show chops Del Rio's chest some more. Del Rio kicks Big Show before delivering a step-up enziguri. They take turns breaking the count, but this has gone on way too long. Back in, Del Rio gets Big Show down, but he kicks out at 2. Del Rio with a front face lock. Big Show on his knees on the move and trying to apply a bear hug to Del Rio. Del Rio leans down on him and forces Big Show back down to the mat. Del Rio slides around to go for a sleeper, and Big Show counters with a side slam. A double count going. They both get to their knees and trade slaps. Del Rio goes down each time he is slapped. Del Rio covers after a slap, but Big Show kicks out at 1. Del Rio with a front face lock. Big Show tries to get back to his feet. He picks Del Rio up and just throws him off. He then clotheslines Del Rio to the outside. When they come back from a commercial break, Del Rio has Big Show in a leg lock. Big Show with a chin lock while still in the hold. Big Show breaks the hold, but Del Rio starts kicking Big Show. Big Show gets to his feet and goes for a choke slam, but Del Rio kicks him and DDTs him. He gets a 2 count, and Big Show kicks out so hard that Del Rio flies out of the ring. Del Rio gets back in the ring, and it looks like he's going for a step-up enziguri, but Big Show just swats him away and pins Del Rio. Del Rio is knocked out in the middle of the ring. CM Punk's music hits, and he comes out. He and Big Show stop and look at each other for a second before each passes the other. Punk gets a bottle of water and a mic and gets in the ring. Punk dumps the water on Del Rio to revive him so that he can speak to him. Punk tells Del Rio that he is going to put him in the Anaconda Vice until Del Rio consents to giving him his match at Survivor Series. He then does it, and Del Rio says he has his match at Survivor Series. Punk gets on the mic and says he says yes, and they cut Punk's mic. He gets it back on and says he says yes. I'll see you at Survivor Series, amigo. Excellent piece of business here. It keeps Punk strong without burying Del Rio. Fozzy and Gonzo are shown in the back. Gonzo says he could be a WWE superstar if he put his mind to it. They get interrupted by Vicky Guerrero, Jack Swagger, and Dolph Ziggler. They tie Gonzo's arms around his face and say to tell their friends not to interfere in their match tonight before leaving. Gonzo says how did they know that he needed an adjustment? Animal is introduced as the special guest timekeeper. Jack Swagger with Vicky Guerrero versus Santino Marella. The bell rings and they lock up. Swagger pushes Marella down to the ground. Marella gets back up and Swagger clotheslines him back to the ground. Swagger attacks Marella with forearms while he is down. He then attacks him with elbows. He then embarrasses Marella by doing push-ups on him. Swagger with a corner whip, and Marella falls to the mat again. Swagger hits Marella with a corner charge as he gets back up. Another charge, but Marella gets his boot up. A "We Want Ryder" chant goes out. Marella attacks Swagger, who comes back with knees and right hands to Marella. Marella ducks a clothesline attempt and comes back with a hip toss. He then does a falling headbutt on Swagger for a 2 count. Swagger with a single leg takedown. Swagger then goes for the ankle lock. Marella rolls through to get out of the move, knocking Swagger's throat first into the top rope. While he is down, Beaker comes over to Marella by the ropes and gives him some more of the energy drink. Marella starts to drink it, holds his throat like it burns. Swagger comes over to him. Marella spits the drink in his face and rolls him up for the pin. Zack Ryder versus Dolph Ziggler with Vicky Guerrero. They lock up and Ziggler with a side headlock. Ryder pushes off and Ziggler comes back with a shoulder block. Ryder with a couple of arm drags, ducks a Ziggler clothesline attempt, and rolls Ziggler up for a 2 count. Ziggler comes back with a clothesline. Ziggler stomps Ryder while he is down. A big right hand from Ziggler knocks Ryder back down after he gets up. Ziggler goes for a neck breaker. Ryder pushes off and hits Ziggler with a right hand in the clothesline. Ziggler reverses a corner whip. Ryder with a back elbow when Ziggler tries to charge him. Ryder with a massive drop kick from the second rope. Ziggler rolls to the outside. Ryder launches himself to land on Ziggler on the outside. He puts Ziggler back in, but when they come back from the commercial, Ziggler has Ryder in a modified chinlock. The fans start a "Let's Go Ryder, woo woo woo" chant. Ryder gets back to his feet and hits Ziggler with a couple of shots before Ziggler drives him back down by the hair. Ziggler drops an elbow on Ryder for a 2 count. Ziggler hits a neck breaker. Ziggler goes for a drop kick, but Ryder catches his legs and catapults him into the top rope. Back and forth in the middle of the ring. Ryder with a flapjack in the middle. He runs Ziggler into a corner post and punches him repeatedly. A running forearm knocks Ziggler to the mat. Ryder hits Ziggler with a running knee for a 2 count. Ziggler with a modified jawbreaker. Ziggler with a corner charge, only to get met with a double knee to the jaw. Ryder gets the pin, but Ziggler got his foot under the bottom rope right before the 3 count. The bell rings, but the referee waves it off. Ziggler takes off around the ring with Ryder following him. Guerrero grabs Ryder's leg as he goes to get in the ring after Ziggler, allowing Ziggler to take advantage and kick Ryder. Ziggler goes for the zigzag, but Ryder holds on to the ropes and pushes Ziggler off. Ryder then hits the Rough Rider and gets the pin. Guerrero screams no in disapproval. Flashback to Kevin Nash attacking Triple H on Raw the previous week. The announcers say that John Laurinaitis has re-signed Kevin Nash. Michael Cole gets on the mic and says some things about JR not being there to take the Michael Cole challenge and makes some silly joke about JR. This has always been and always will be cringe to me. Statler and Waldorf are shown and they say there's nothing worse than listening to Michael Cole. Miss Piggy is shown in the back with John Morrison. Piggy wants him to go out to dinner with her, but Morrison says he's busy. He says he has a friend who is free. He brings back Hornswoggle, who shows Piggy his Muppets tattoo before kissing her. Piggy attacks him with a karate chop and leaves. Kermit comes in to see if he's okay. Hornswoggle loved it. Kermit says, and I thought our show was weird. Cody Rhodes comes in and puts a paper bag over Kermit's head. WrestleMania 27 main event rematch. The Miz versus John Cena. The bell rings and they lock up. Cena with a side headlock takeover. He follows that up with kicks and punches The Miz. He then runs Miz into a corner buckle and then corner whips and suplexes The Miz. Cena with the dropkick The Miz for a 1 count. Miz moves out of the way of a corner charge and hit a big boot on Cena. Miz with kicks and stomps to Cena and then hits Cena. Another kick and Miz gets a 2 count. Miz with a rear chin lock as the Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks dueling chants go out again. Miz with another big boot to knock Cena down again. Miz with a big corner clothesline to Cena. Miz goes up top and hits a double axe handle coming off the top rope. He gets a 2 count. Miz stomps Cena down on the mat over and over. Miz gets Cena in a headlock. Cena gets back to his feet to get out of the move. He ducks a Miz clothesline attempt and hits some shoulder blocks to Miz. He then slams Miz down. You can't see me. 5-knuckle shuffle. He goes for the attitude adjustment, but Miz counters that into a death drop. He gets a 2 count. Miz goes for a big boot. Cena grabs his leg and goes for the STF, but Miz kicks off. A backbreaker neckbreaker combo gives Miz another 2 count. Miz goes for the skull-crushing finale. Cena pushes off and hits a big clothesline for another 2 count. Cena goes up top, but gets caught as Miz hits him with several shots. Miz goes for a superplex, but Cena fighting it, and he headbutts the Miz off. Cena hits a top rope leg drop to Miz across the back of the neck. He gets a close 2 count. Cena goes for the attitude adjustment again. Miz with elbows to fight out of it and hits a big DDT, but he also only gets a 2 count. Miz rushes Cena, who backdrops Miz to the outside. Cena goes out after Miz and throws him into a corner barricade. He goes after Miz and someone in a scream mask grabs Cena and attacks him. Miz takes advantage and runs Cena into the apron. Miz goes for the skull-crushing finale, but Cena counters it into the STF and gets Miz the tap. The scream guy comes in and Cena gives him the AA. He pulls off the mask and it's R-Truth. He puts on the mask and does You Can't See Me to R-Truth. He then celebrates in the ring as they sign off from Atlanta. Final thoughts. This was a decent show. They furthered several storylines as they pivot towards Survivor Series. The Muppets were fun, but a little overdone in my opinion. Mild recommendation. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at @TheJoeyHarris. If you like the show, please leave a review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. I would really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me this week. This is Joey saying so long from the heart of Virginia.
The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show is a production of Baby Kangaroo Media.